So close.
Fusco.
I'm here, sir.
You know what really tunes my dojo?
Is it when you get so close to the end of a tune and you just fucking blow it at the end? Is it one of those kind of things?
I like to think of it as creative improvisation. I'm making the tune my own.
That you did. You certainly made it your own. Nothing like what the author intended. That's
you know what the great thing about playing something by yourself is it really is whatever you make it at that point, as long as you act like you're doing it on purpose.
Just like when you're the pipe major, right? You're never wrong.
You're never wrong if you're the pipe major unless you are Fooko.
Exactly.
Hello, everyone. My name is Josh. Welcome to the Chanarant Podcast. This is an explicit show. At least it will be very shortly. So I'm going to give you 5 seconds to listen to something else. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fuck. Barbecue sauce. Listeners can review the show on iTunes. Oh, and I forgot to mention, with me all the way from New York is my bearded co-host, Andy.
That's me.
You can review the show on iTunes. You can send us emails and voicemails to be played on air. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and if you're Australian, Snapchat. Check out the Chanarant store at chanarant.com and become a patron. This episode is brought to you by our beautiful fucking patrons. As soon as you become a patron, your cock grows by an inch.
So sign up today. Trust me. I've signed up 17 times already.
Both length and width. And if you're a female listener, I believe your clit gets bigger, and it's just therefore more sensitive, more accessible. I'm not sure.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know, man. I've never seen one, so you tell me.
Can we take a sidebar for a second, real quick? Since you brought up giant clits.
Giant clits?
You ever experienced a really large clit?
You haven't?
In your section? No, have you? I'm asking.
Have I? I have not. Most of the clitori, is that the?
That sounds like a reasonable plural for that.
It sounds like an invading army in an Avengers movie, but I'm just going to go with it. Most of the clitori I have encountered are, I believe, average size.
What about?
Why have you run into some giant clits in your day? I like how we haven't even gotten through the show open and we're already just down the rabbit hole.
Well, we really got to let people know what this is all about.
Yeah,
it's not bagpipes.
Yeah, very little bagpipe banter.
Here and there, some are bigger than others. Some are like more like a coffee bean, and some are more like a carrot stick. Have you ever encountered a clitoris that was just larger than your flaccid penis? Let's just say.
That means yes.
I've experienced them that they're close.
That means that's an automatic yes. Speaking of a bunch of clits, you can become a patron at patreon.com/Chanarant. And we want to thank all of our fantastic patrons who support this awful show. I appreciate all of you so much, and I don't know why you do it, but I'm glad you do. Last but not least, please invite and share with your friends. If they have a sick sense of humor or you think they may be one of the six, let them know. Send them a link to the Chanarant podcast, and apparently it's a new tool that pipe majors are using to kind of cut the wheat from the chaff when it comes to their pipe bands.
Exactly, yeah. So that's the best way to do it. Is word of mouth, people sharing it with each other, and test your pipe band members to see if they have the kind of sense of humor and whatever that the je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, the fortitude.
What is it? Testicular fortitude.
Yeah,
to play in a pipe. Yeah. And handle all the incredible sexual harassment.
It doesn't have to be only the testicular fortitude. It could be the ovarian fortitude as well.
Yeah, whatever.
Also, great name for a metal album, Ovarian Fortitude. I'm just saying, let's put that one out there now. Someone write that down.
Copyright. TM. We got that one.
Yeah, we got that one. So we have a lot to go through. It's a bit of a grab bag episode because you're in New York and you've been, fucking around drinking lattes with Doogie instead of being here doing actual work.
That's correct.
But as we're going through,
I challenge you to be hungover as hell and listen to 8 hours of beginners trying to tune their bagpipes. Tell me that ain't work, son.
I mean, I just don't think I could be hungover as hell and listen to any number of hours of Andrew Douglas fucking blathering on.
Oh, well, there's that too.
Yeah.
But he's my boss, so I'm going to let that one alone.
I love him to death, but oh my goodness, it's just fucking goes and goes and goes.
Oh my God. Funny. Want to hear a funny side story to that real quick?
Absolutely.
So one of the days of the clinic, I believe it was Saturday, the teachers all got together and we're like, Andrew, how long are you going to go for? Because first thing he does every day is give some theory, right? He's like, maybe a half hour. Carl's like, can you get the first part done in a half hour? He's like, yeah. So I'm like, everybody, hey, over under is an hour.
Yeah, there's no fucking way.
Guess what he did? He went an hour. He went just exactly an hour. You're supposed to do a half hour. He did this every day. He went on way longer than you're supposed to, which is great. It's fine. It's still important information. But
it's one of the things that happens when you have someone that completely loves their craft.
Well, that's true too.
Like he's such a fucking nerd for this shit. Like he loves this.
He's very passionate. I'll give him that.
Like bagpipe theory is what gets his dick hard.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
Which,
and he experiments. He's like a scientist. He's always experimenting.
I cannot fault him for that. I think he does it well.
Oh,
he is the fucking the mad scientist of bagpipe theory.
This is very true. But yeah, anyway, so where were we going with that? I forget where we were going.
You wanted a sidebar, and we are actually going to talk a little bit about your adventures because you were in New York for the Dojo Tuning clinic.
I was,
which I am interested in hearing more about because I don't. You hear about workshops and you hear about piping instructions in schools, but a specific like tuning clinic, I'm actually intrigued as to what the format of that is like.
Okay.
Sure. Before we get into that, we got to get through all our fucking housekeeping because we've been dicking around, we've been not doing our jobs. First off, I want to start right out the gate because we've already talked about this whole streaming thing. So I want to start right off the gate with a voicemail sent to us by our good friend, slightly above average size Rab. And this is regarding some of the things that we've brought up twice now of the whole streaming debacle that he's going through over in Ireland.
Hey guys, it's myself, Rab, and I have to say, first off, a massive thank you for sending me the shirt. It's awesome. I finally have my own Pooh Bear shirt, which is just incredible. So it feels weird wearing it because essentially it's a picture of me on there. Yeah. Naked from the waist down, but hey, get your Pooh Bear shirt on chatterrant.com, the best place to get your Chatterrant merch. Also, just wanted to say, guys, a massive thank you for the very kind words on last week's podcast. When you guys were talking all about the live streaming situation that we have going on here in Northern Ireland at the moment, it is what it is. But yeah, appreciate everything you guys are doing. So yeah, just a word of thanks, really. Who knows what we can do for the rest of 2019? It all still remains to be seen, but we will keep you posted. Don't worry. All right, there you go. Hashtag one of the six. F you, Joe Brady. You.
As always, F you, Joe Brady. Hey, thanks, Rab. Yeah, you have an interesting situation you're dealing with over there, and fuck all them cunts.
Yeah, bunch of cunts.
Bunch of cunts.
So I don't know if we're supposed to talk about this, but and I can't remember where the fuck it was sent, but I'm pretty sure, or I dreamed it, and this was just one of my mad, feverish dreams of drinking and over the weekend. But I'm pretty sure Rab said somebody posted on his Facebook from RSPBA NI, like, how dare you go down to Ireland and stream shit.
Well, yeah, so it's an interesting thing to bring up in this whole streaming, the streaming saga, or as we'll call it, Streamgate 2019, where essentially our good friend who goes and does these events with his team for free got told to go fuck himself by RSPBA and I at a recent event, and then had the Irish Pipe Band Association down south be like, no, you can totally come stream down here. Like, we'll hook it up.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, we'll hook it up, bro. Which is what we talked about this on the episode. This is what would happen if you were at one of our events and you offer to come stream for free. Like, holy shit. You would get like food and beer and hot and cold running blowjobs.
Exactly. And apparently they were treated like kings from the reports I've heard. Which
is justice. That is what needs to be done.
Isn't it funny how the Irish always know the right way to do things, but the British always fuck it up?
Well, the other thing I will find too is like, I feel like you could probably lump the RSPBA and even on some occasions the RSPBA into the same situation where like they think they're way sexier than they are.
Oh yeah.
And so like you get, let's do an analogy. RSPBI and RSPBA. They're pretty attractive chicks, but like not by nowhere near like the hottest chicks in the area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Rab, being a gentleman, courts them Says, hey, I'm going to come do some streaming. Let's do some streaming for free. And then all of a sudden they decide to be a dick to Rab, and an even hotter chick says, well, you can come stream over here, buddy.
A slightly more musical chick says, come down here.
Now they're all jealous and shit because the guy they friend zoned is streaming with our PBA.
Actually, Rab might be working this cat theory really well. Do you know the cat on the string theory as it pertains to cats and chicks?
No. I'd love to hear it.
Okay, so this back in the day, I used to be quite the womanizer, and I studied under
back in the day, what Sunday?
2 weeks ago plus. So there's this guy that I used to follow about womanizing because I found the science of it fascinating, and he had this theory about how, like, if you get a hot chick on the line, you've got to treat her like a cat with a string, like you're playing with a cat and a string. You got to constantly pull it away. It's the whole thing. You got to keep them wanting more, right? So you can't, like, if you're a sucker and you just completely fall head over heels for a hot chick, because they've got options, they're going to go somewhere else. So you got to treat it like a cat on a string. So this is what Rab has done this kind of accidentally, but I think this is what he's doing. He's now gone on to another hot chick who's probably equally hot, maybe better. Depends on your point of view. Everybody's opinion is different. But down south, they're pretty good too. I'll just go down there, and now they're like fucking jealous, right? Now they want them back.
They're very appreciative of what Rab brings to the table.
All of a sudden, they're like, "Oh boy, I want to fucking grab the balls, swallow the gravy." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, this makes sense.
I got to give you that book, by the way. Well, you're doing okay now. I think you're back.
Yeah, man. I guess who's back? Back again.
Back again.
Joshy's back.
Anyway.
Don't smell his hand. Okay. Okay, so thank you, Rab, for the voicemail. We love you, buddy. No matter what, we're going to keep being dickheads to people that don't treat you right. Yeah,
because
we're going to be... Because we're like that friend that knows that Rab really is a keeper. And he deserves to find true happiness with an association.
Mm-hmm. He might just have to move down south, and then everything will be fine.
Hey, we already said it on the show. He's a goddamn national treasure.
I mean, really, does he cause any harm?
No.
I mean, what the fuck?
No, all he does is help. He spends his time and energy and money, and his team spend their time and energy and collective monies to help you stupid fucks.
You heard it here first. Josh calls RSPBA and I stupid fucks.
Dude, that's not even the worst. That's not even the worst thing I've called them.
Print that shit, Bertov.
Yeah, come on, fucking Shane Ray podcast calls people stupid fucks. Everyone's surprised.
By the way, Bertov is pipesdrums.com, just so you know.
Yeah.
Everybody hates that.
I don't get to read any of that anymore because I didn't want to pay for a subscription. Exactly. It's so much easier for me to wait 2 days and just listen to the entire story on Rab's show for free.
Exactly.
I mean, I am a patron. I'm a patron of Rab's show, so I guess it's not entirely
you're paying
free.
Somebody.
Yeah, I'm paying somebody. I'm just not paying them.
That's fine.
Okay, so moving right along, we have an email from the one and the only, the great JD Ingernam Nam, and it's worth mentioning. Just had his anniversary.
Okay.
I don't know which anniversary it was, but he did have an anniversary. So congratulations to JD and your lovely wife.
I'd say he's lucky to have any anniversary with that broad.
Dude, yeah, JD's got to just be like mad skills as far as banter, as far as sexually. I mean,
he's got a 9-inch cock for sure.
Yeah, easily packing a howitzer.
I mean, look at the size of his head.
Well, and it's so funny because in this
he's
email,
like
in this email, he mentions that he's not sure how to feel about us constantly calling him his wife hot.
Right.
So instead, just to make JD more comfortable, instead of talking about how hot his wife is, we'll just talk about what a giant cock JD has.
So all of the Charleston pipe band should know how big his cock is.
Yeah. I mean, it's Also, he became a patron, so it's already 1 inch longer and 1 inch wider.
Absolutely. So and every month that $5
it just accumulates
longer and wider.
Every month it accumulates. Pretty soon, if he gets a hard on, he's going to pass out.
Exactly.
So, speaking of JD, he says, just listen to a new plan. A few thoughts on your teaching approaches. The all open Saturdays are a good idea, but not quite what we do. We only allow brand new beginners 3 times a year, so we have people in rough batches that can be taught at roughly the same level. Our fee is $150 a year, which you equate that to roughly 50 weeks a year is about $3 a week. Josh's plan sounds more like what my bands growing up did. They actually had an hour before band practice dedicated to lessons. The pipe major would teach all band members in that hour. If a brand new beginner showed up, send a person similar to Josh. I don't know how I keep getting the job of like talking to new people. Send a person similar to Josh, coordinator.
Offered, by the way, you don't remember it, but
yeah, no, I remember that. I just wish I hadn't. Make sure they have the right equipment and teach them to scale. If they come back knowing the scale, the coordinator would pass them off to an appropriate teacher to learn embellishments and the first few tunes before they could start attending lessons with the pipe major. Once they were starting to wrestle with playing a full set of pipes, they would attend the lesson hour with the rest of the band. Once they were ready to compete, they would attend regular band practice. That approach has its own set of issues to work through, but it was somewhat successful as it produced a number of very talented players, including Lyric Toddkill, myself, and Wyatt, who's a grade 1 player with Wake. And last but not least, he says, and I'm not sure whether to be flattered or disgusted by how you guys talk about my wife, but she is pretty hot.
Both, sir. The answer is both.
We've been fairly respectful with how hot JD's wife is.
Yeah, we haven't said anything bad about her, right?
No,
or anything nasty.
She would fucking stab us.
We just said that we're surprised that he could pull that off. That's all.
That's true. Thank you for writing in, JD. I think it makes a lot of good points. I think that... Where do I even want to begin? Aside from regretting that I offered to help as much as I have, I would say that I really actually like the idea of only taking on new students like in remote time periods, where it's almost like a football draft, where it's like, you can only join during certain time periods we only accept. As soon as you add some level of exclusivity in my mind, I think that you might get better retention.
Maybe.
It's like, are you taking students? Are you taking students? Not until October.
Yeah, I agree with that in theory. I wonder. We've never tried it, so maybe it does work. I don't know. Hoineke used to do this as well. He would start new students every semester, he called it, or whatever. But so he'd sort of line it up with schools because I think he taught a lot of kids. But I think that's possible to work. It also, I had some clarification message to me as well from the Wasatch guys, from Eric Evanhouse, that sick fucker. And he was telling me that the Wasatch does something sort of similar to what JD's talking about, but they don't do it time-based. They're not like, they don't wait for people to like start in October or whatever the date is. Like, he does something very similar where somebody somebody comes in interested, pass them to a basics teacher, they charge $10. It's a little bit more than JD, but basically the same. And they teach them to scale, and if they get to the point where they're better, get to a certain point, they pass them on to somebody else. It's basically the same idea. They just don't have that time gate. But and they're fucking huge. So
they have a ton of people.
Yeah, they got
Granted,
like 3
they're
bands.
Also they're in Mo country, man. There's nothing else to do.
True.
The beer is 2%. Nobody can fuck. Like
that's true. So
as soon as you take away premarital sex and decent alcohol, like what else are you gonna do aside from fucking play bagpipes?
Yeah, man. Like, why? They don't even play bagpipes for the sexual harassment aspect. They just do it because I don't know why they do it.
Because there's nothing else to do.
Right.
You're gonna be waiting around forever for your own planet, so you might as well just fucking play some bagpipes in the meantime.
Exactly. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Anyway, I think it's very interesting. I think that. The biggest thing about the new plan is we're going to try it and see if it works. All we know is that what we are doing isn't working. I went and covered on Saturday. No students showed up.
I wouldn't have expected them to.
Like, there was a gig, so I had to be there anyway, so that was fine.
Right.
But I completely, in that moment, I completely understood all of your frustration.
Oh, yeah.
Because because it's just a waste of my time at that point.
It's not well organized, and part of that is me because I'm managing so many people that are so. Dude, so.
Well, we talked
how far sidebar I want to go. But.
We talked about this on a new plan. The idea is to get that kind of out of your wheelhouse.
Right, absolutely. But let me give an example. So remember that student? I won't say any names or whatever. But remember the student that you talked to a couple weeks back that you bought the sticks and pads for?
Yep.
Right. So I have a lesson set up for her on this upcoming Saturday, right? So we planned, all right, come to the group lesson, but it's going to be you by yourself, blah, blah, blah. We'll get you started, right? And she completely contacted me on her own. She's a teenager, she's under 18, teenager, whatever. But totally had it set up for Saturday, right? So I get a message literally yesterday, or maybe it was yesterday.
And for clarification, it's a mutual friend, so it's a person I know. I know her family. I know all of them, so they knew that they were okay for her to text Andy.
Correct. Yes, correct. So, so I get a text message from her mother like yesterday. So can you call me when you get a chance? I need to talk to you about this whole thing. I'm like, oh, here we go. And I had never spoken to the mother before, only the student, the kid. So she's like, well, we've got Mother's Day something going on Saturday, so she can't come Saturday. I'm like, oh, here we go. Here's the start of every goddamn student we ever have. We can't make it. This is inconvenient. Well, fuck you. I'm out. I'm already done. I'm already signed out in my mind. Right. So she's like, well, we can make arrangements, but I need you to call me. We can figure it out. I'm like, I don't even care. I don't want to go through this fucking process. This is when we have it. If you come. If you don't. I don't give a fuck. It's not my problem. This is where I'm at. Right.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
A million times.
I would say in that same scenario, like my move would just be, same time next week at that point.
Oh, no. She's like, well, we have 2 weeks where we're out of town. We got blah, blah, blah. She started going down a list of things. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
It's a whole, then it's a whole fucking thing where it's like, here's all the reasons we can't do this thing we've committed to do.
Here's a whole rigmarole. Absolutely. I'm like, all right, I'm out. I've checked out. Whatever. Do what you got to do. I don't care.
I think that's an important point, though. I think people don't realize, especially, I never thought about this when I was a student, but I don't think people realize how quickly they can disenfranchise an instructor. Because in my mind, the student-instructor relationship is a lot like the way that an employer-employee relationship should be. Whereas everybody teaches, everybody treats an employer-employee relationship as, well, you should just be thankful that you're my employee, and therefore there's no give and take here. It's correct. Just be grat. And people do that with instructors, with music. You should be grateful that I'm paying you to be my instructor or that I'm showing up and there's no give and take. When realistically, it's 100% 50-50 in both of these scenarios. Like, if you're a shitty student, I don't want to teach you.
Right, exactly.
If you're a shitty employer, I don't want to work for you. Like, you have to convince me to want to help you just as much as anything else. Like, because, I mean, dude, try to be one of these students that's barely picking up the chanter and like skipping 3 out of 4 lessons, and try to get Jack Lee to teach you.
Oh, it's never going to happen. But they don't even. But the issue is they don't know who Jack Lee is or care.
It doesn't matter how much you pay him at that point. He's going to say, "Go fuck yourself." Like,
yes, but he's got that ability.
I would say with local instructors, though, it's got to be the same thing, right? It's like, if at some point it's got to be that conversation of, if you're not willing to put the time in, then what are we doing here? And I'm not gonna waste my time to teach you if you're not gonna ever put the time in to get good. Yeah. I think that's just as important, because at that point you're helping with the turnover. I mean, you are turning over potential players at that point, but it's important to turn them over early if they're not going to do it. And the expense that you're saving is burning out your instructors.
Yes, correct, exactly.
Which you can turn over new students at a pretty decent rate if they're not gonna stick with it anyway. You can't turn over instructors, especially not in our geography, especially not where we live. Like, if you burn out instructors and they're like, I'm not gonna fucking teach that person, or I'm not gonna teach anybody anymore because I'm tired of showing up and nobody's there, then you're truly and seriously fucked. Versus just being mildly fucked.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, one is a kiss on the cheek and a tender loving. The other one is like a pineapple shoved up your ass the wrong way. Like,
it's a very good point.
People think it takes a long time to turn a student into a bagpiper. Do you want to know how long it takes to turn a bagpiper into a fucking instructor?
Oh, dear God. Can you imagine?
There's a huge rate of attrition there. I don't teach hardly at all anymore. I volunteer time for the band to teach and stuff like that, but like, I don't fucking teach.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of responses from last week's episode about like your concept, and a lot of people, for the most part, are very supportive of the idea. As long as it's like controlled in the sense that everybody knows what they're getting themselves into, because it's a whole lot of disappointment. I wouldn't do it for free. I do agree with Wasatch that charge $10. as opposed to $3 from JD. But
I think everyone should have skin in the game. But the thing
everybody supports your idea about like sending them to somebody's house, like yourself, a couple of the pipe, our semi-pipe corporals, whatever. As long as those people are willing to fucking do it and not cancel themselves, like it will drive me fucking bananas if other people besides yourself and I constantly rearrange schedules or constantly canceling. Like that'll drive me nuts. Yeah. Now we're wasting their time. We can't waste their time. That's
no. I totally agree with that. I will say one of the things I did like about JD's structure was the idea that you pay everything up front.
That is a very good part of it.
Because at that point, you've got skin in the game already.
Yeah, it's like if you don't show up, you're just losing your own money. So what's the difference?
And like if it's one of those things where you pay up front, if you don't show, I mean, it's like acting class, like you pay up front. If you don't show, fuck you, I keep your cash.
Right. Exactly correct. Yeah.
I think that could drastically...
that might be an important part of it. Like, we as pipers need to take ourselves more seriously in that we do offer some value to people's lives, right? And sometimes I think we're so desperate for people that we don't realize our own worth I don't want to say society.
No, I totally agree. That's why I brought up the 50-50 thing. Like, it really is 50-50 relationship. Like, they have to meet you halfway. Mm-hmm. It's got to be, I really want to do this, and then the instructor really wants to do this, and that's how it works. If you get an instructor that's not willing to commit at least 50% to the process, then they're not an instructor anymore. Fucking get rid of them. If you get a student that's not willing to commit at least 50% to the process, they're not a student anymore. Fuck them, get rid of them.
Right. Yeah,
you can fire students. Like, that's a thing.
Oh, it's definitely a thing. I learned that, again, like I said, from Hoyne.
I've had people that I used to teach that I was like, I'm not going to teach you anymore. Mm-hmm. Because it's just a waste of my time and a waste of your time and money, and I'm not going to get rich being a pipe band teacher. And and Fusco, I have to get rich. Lucy's vet bills are insane.
So the fact that you're part-time is true. And all the pipers other than me, they're not part-time. That's not even remotely why they care about teaching. One, it's good for them to do it, like you said. We've talked about that.
Makes you better.
But two, it gets them more involved in the expansion, improvement of the band, which gives them more personal, value to adding to the success of the organization, if you will.
And it forces, I would say for the instructors, people that are teaching that have never taught before, it forces them to look at the process in a more analytical way because you have to explain it. Instead of just having someone hold your hand and drag you through the process, you have to actually be the person holding the hand. But we already kind of went over a bunch of this, so I want to bang out a few more housekeeping things.
Sure, keep going. Yeah.
So we did get an email from Hugh.
Oh yeah, down south, or no, not down south,
down in Australia.
Down under.
So Hugh says, "Good day, Andy and Josh." I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do an accent.
No, don't do it.
No, I can't do it. He says, this may be a bit long, so apologies. I just want to share with you some of my thoughts about some of your recent topics. Living in Australia, we feel even more cut off from the rest of the world than most, so live streaming is a must for us. Mind you, if you live more than an hour's drive from an event, you're likely to say, fuck it, it's too far to go anyway. Here in Australia, we have a bloke who streams many brass band competitions, and recently he was streaming the New Zealand National Pipe Band Championships with Tyler Fry doing the comparing. Just brilliant. From what I can gather, both organizations love what he does. The streaming lets this side of the world be seen by the Northern Hemisphere. If anyone is interested in the website, it's brassband.com. Brass band, like band from stuff. Getting new members into any group has and always will be a difficult task. Over the last 40-odd years, I have been involved in quite a few different groups, ranging from scouts, programmer groups, hot air ballooning, and now bagpipes. And I've always found it difficult when you are a minority group. You get lots of people who say they would love to give it a go, but never commit. Pricks. Cheers. We have to be careful, however, that we don't expect others to have the same enthusiasm and passion as we do. Andy, getting band members who aren't at the top of the game to teach beginners may be the only way of getting new beginners. As we are all busy people, getting a suitable time for both the students and teachers can be difficult, so increasing the number of tutors will improve the odds. I'm actually doing this for a similarly aged friend, another old fart, at the moment, and I know he will never be a great piper, but he is enjoying the experience and is promoting bagpipes. I don't think he would be learning if I wasn't teaching him, and also it helps my playing by picking up on his faults. Also, he joined the dojo U at my suggestion, and it provides great teaching material as well. Guys, keep the shit coming, and don't forget to have some Vegemite on your toast each. Hey, cheers, Hugh. I'm not going to have
never touching Vegemite again. Yeah. Fuck that.
No, it makes sense. I do think that the solution is probably having more instructors, getting people more involved, and not necessarily... like we talked about last week, decentralizing the process to where it's a more personal relationship.
Yeah, I agree. All
right, so this next one's you, buddy.
Yes. So I'm hoping it's the one that I think that it is. Is it the Steven from Facebook?
No, this is number 5 on the notes.
Yeah, I know, but which Steven is it?
That's not number 5.
5 on the notes. Hold on. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, sorry, I jumped ahead on you. I was getting so excited about Steven's email. So yeah. So we got a great voicemail this week, didn't we? Did you hear it?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah. I want to play it for everybody tonight, but we got a great voicemail from Jamie up in Canada, and she had so many interesting things to say.
Really some vulgar stuff too.
Actually, so Josh, why don't you just play it for us, because that'll be easier.
Yeah, no, let me just cue that up. Nah, we're just kidding.
She
asked us not to play it.
Yeah, we got a great voicemail, and she asked us not to play it. So
sorry, I hit my mic. I gotta drink.
Where's the bell, dude?
Can you not hear it? I've hit it a couple times.
Oh, I did not hear it at all. Oh, there you go. Now I hear it. So, for the record, Jamie was just shitting her pants. I'm sure she's like, "Oh, those fuckers."
I told them not to read it. All right, but realistically, yes, the message from Steven, that is you.
Okay, so Steven says, just finished listening to your episode about losing Josh's bag. Sucks ass, but it pushed me to hurry up and sign up for Patreon.
So thank you, Steven.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. We got quite a few new members this week.
Yeah, the Patreon army is going strong, and I cannot even begin to tell you guys how appreciative I am of our fucking just phenomenal fan base.
Yeah, dude, like the percentage is way higher than it should be.
Yeah,
of people that support us. So we really appreciate it. And it helps us do things like the very next thing we're about to do. What is that, Josh?
Oh, so we asked this question. So I'm experimenting with asking questions via Facebook versus Patreon versus whatever. So we asked this question to the Patreon subscribers. Mm-hmm. And I've selected an answer that was sent to us. The question was, marry, fuck, kill. And I'm assuming everyone's fairly familiar with the game Marry, Fuck, Kill. But the idea is you have the option to marry, fuck, or kill, and then 3 names, and you have to marry one, fuck one, and kill the other one. So I proposed a question to our patrons. Marry, fuck, kill Joe Brady, Stuart Little, and Richard Parks. And I selected the best answer that was submitted to us. We may do this more in the future. We'll see.
We've got ideas.
It says, so this person requests to be anonymous. They said they would marry Richard Parks and be the trophy spouse of the pipe major with the most world championships in recent history. As a de facto queen of the band, you'd probably get a couple FMM prospects as personal servants. She would fuck Stuart Little, a piping rock star that likely crushes tons of puss, so he definitely knows how to show a lady, and who knows, maybe a few gents a good time. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
And last but not least, and I guess that leaves kill for Joe Brady, which is only fair, I suppose, him being an old man who's lived his life and all. Cheers, boys. # 1 of the 6. Wow.
That was a great answer. I'll give her credit for that one.
So yeah, we did
have
one.
Sorry, Joe.
We had one of the 6 right in. So Fusco, I'm going to ask you the same question. Marry, fuck, kill Joe Brady, Stuart Little, Richard Parks.
Okay, so marry is an easy one for me.
Okay.
I would absolutely marry Joe Brady.
Okay. And why?
I love that man. One, he's got a giant penis, and that would really expand my abilities to
fart silently.
No, I love fucking Joe Brady. The guy is a marketing genius. He's the most entertaining and exciting person I've ever met.
You do have a type, don't you?
of course, how am I going to make this decision on the other side, though? Okay, so Mary. All right, I'm going to marry Joe. So then I'm going to. All right, so I'm going to absolutely F Stuart Little.
Okay.
Because I agree with Mary. Oh, fuck, was I not supposed to say a name?
Yeah, you should edit that out. Boop, you agree with boop.
So I would agree with that previous caller who said F Stuart Little because that guy is a sexy beast. And I can listen to him play, just turns me on. And so why wouldn't I? Okay. And then Richard Parks I would kill because it's time for somebody else to succeed. I've had enough of the FM and their winning ways. Although they are geniuses, I do not disagree. But I just need somebody else to win because otherwise this is getting very boring. From a Las Vegas perspective, when the fucking Patriots win every goddamn year, you get sick of it. I mean, I love Tom Brady, but enough's enough. Retire, son of a bitch. Richard, get out of the game.
Retire, Richard. All right.
So I'm going to kill Richard.
So you've married Joe Brady, you've fucked Stuart Little, and you've killed Richard Parks.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
And to be honest, the show has fucked Joe Brady on a regular basis, so I don't know if that's really...
Hey, we've made Joe Brady famous.
We did. So what would you do? Do you have any thoughts?
So I'm actually pretty similar. So here are my thoughts. I would marry Stuart Little.
Ooh, that's different. Okay.
The man is an absolute gem, and I think we could have a great life together. In this scenario, I'm going to fuck Joe Brady.
Ooh.
Because I want to make sure that you know that I fucked your husband.
Okay.
And that I was better in every way.
Well, we'll see. I guess we'll see.
And I'm going to agree. I would kill Richard Parks because he's Darth Vader. And I like to think that I'm the, at least the Luke Skywalker of this story, if not.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So,
I mean, all these answers are all very good.
Right before he dies, I'll know that I have brought out the good in him and returned him to the light side of the Force.
Should we post another? Should we propose another F, Marry, Kill for the audience that's going to be listening to this for next week?
Oh,
because the Patreon message didn't obviously work, but the one you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. So the new one is who is the third person? I remember two of them.
You, me, and Big Rap.
Oh yeah. So the Marry, Fuck, Kill for next week, listeners, you're encouraged to participate. Is Marry, Fuck, Kill Josh, Fooko, Big Rab. Why do I feel like Big Rab gets married in every one of these? And you and I either get fucked or killed.
No. He gets killed in everyone, guaranteed.
Okay. So yeah, Marry, Fuck, Kill for next week. Write us in your answers, chanaran@gmail.com. Marry, Fuck, Kill, Josh, Andy, Big Rab. And then this next number 8, I'm just going to delete because who cares if Grace Note Vortex ever comes back?
They're obviously never coming back, so why do we keep talking about it? Fuck those guys.
Fusco, this next one's you.
Okay, so this is just a sort of a funny thing that happened in Vegas within the last 2 months or so. So, Josh, I'm interested about your response to this. So this is what happened. I'm going to tell you the story of what happened, right? So like a month ago, whatever, late March, early April, I got approached to do a funeral.
Okay.
And I was already booked for something, whatever it was, and I couldn't do it. So I said, give me a day or a couple days, and I will call around to my usual crew, my pipe band members, whatever. I'll find somebody for you. He was a very nice guy, super cool guy. I'm like, let me find someone for you. You want to keep looking, that's fine, but I'll find somebody for you. So I did find somebody. I think it was probably Angel. You couldn't do it, but I think I got Angel to agree to do it. And Angel's a pretty solid piper, especially for things like this.
Solid player.
So I call the guy back. He's like, oh, no, don't worry. I actually got somebody from the fire department. I won't say the guy's name.
Uh-oh.
Somebody who I unfortunately have taught in the past, but it's neither here nor there because it's been a long time.
Apparently not very well.
Yeah. So here's what happened. Ready for this part. This is the best fucking part of this story. So he shows up to this place, does the funeral. Similarly to the McCain Piper, he makes a fucking wreck of it. He couldn't even finish. He was trying to play Amazing Grace, couldn't finish twice through. He broke down a second time through Amazing Grace, right? I heard about this after the fact from a person who knows this guy, not from the family. So fortunately, like, I didn't recommend the guy. I called this guy back and said, "Oh, I have somebody." He's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. I found somebody from the fire department."
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, so now I'm in a position in my head.
Imagine the savings.
So listen to this. So I'm in my head. I'm thinking, okay, I know exactly who he's talking about. Do I shit on this guy? I don't want to, not necessarily shit on this guy, but should I like highly recommend that he doesn't do it this way, or do I just let it go?
I think at that point it's on the client.
I think so too. So what I chose is I'm out. Okay, great. Good luck. Fair enough, right? So I hear back that this guy breaks down halfway through Amazing Grace the second time through. Couldn't finish the fucking tune. Probably hadn't practiced in forever. Probably could barely had his pipe set up. Who knows, right? But this is the difference. Here's the thing that the guy did that was different. He was so ashamed of what happened that he gave the family the money back for what they paid him to do the gig.
Damn. Okay, I mean, it's honorable there.
That was an honorable move. Imagine how embarrassing that move would have been to go up to somebody like, "I'm so sorry.
I fucked up this funeral so bad." And it's not like the person can die again.
Right. No. The moment is past.
You pretty much get the one shot.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Dude, that sucks.
Think about that.
Well, you get what you paid for, right? Like, I mean, I think in this situation, It just kind of reinforces something that we've talked about in the show a lot, where if you can't fucking play a gig, don't fucking take the gig. It's
shameful that somebody would pick up a gig like that and not, if you don't, okay, so this is one of the things we teach at, well, Dojo teaches us a little bit, but I definitely do. If you're unsure, it's probably wrong.
Yeah.
So if you're not unsure, say no. Don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
Just give it to somebody who's absolutely 100% sure.
Yeah, man, especially for a funeral, because it's such a delicate situation when you're playing a funeral, and you know, we've talked about this a little bit on the show before, but there's a right way to do it. Like, you gotta have respect, but also be personable, but also like not make it about you, because it's not about you, it's about the person who's deceased. And there's so many layers to putting off a good performance, not just musically, but also like having the correct level of respect and attention to detail, that if you're even remotely unsure, you're gonna fuck it up. Like, if simple stress in a performing situation can make you fuck up, the heavy stress of a bunch of people sobbing around you because you're commemorating the loss of their loved one, and then you fuck it up, that is just, it just piles on. I mean, I can't even imagine. That would suck so fucking hard.
What's that saying? I think it was Bill Belichick or somebody said it, and I think you've talked about it in the band, where like when it was a Navy SEAL thing. Under stress, you
never rise to the occasion.
What is it? What's the answer?
So the phrase is, nobody ever rises to the occasion. You sink to your lowest level of training.
Correct. That's the one. So
the idea that is perpetuated in like movies and feel good stories and stuff is that, well, we're the underdogs and we've never gotten it right before, but we will this time. No. Realistically, when you're under a stress situation, all you will do is perform the worst that you've ever performed under training.
Correct. Exactly. This is a perfect example of that.
So when you get to that situation, if the worst you ever performed under training is falling apart and not being able to finish the tune, don't enter that scenario.
Exactly. Like, have some common sense. Like, think it through.
I've never nailed it in practice, but the music will swell and I'll totally kill it. There'll be a montage of me training, and then the music will swell and I'll totally kill it at the big game. You know, and, exactly. And it's a common misconception. Like, no, that never happens. What happens is, if you've nailed it in practice a few times, you may play as well as you did in practice.
Yeah,
maybe.
So the question is, ask yourself: are you that one in a million?
Nobody is. Nobody's that one in a million.
No, it's very insanely rare, obviously. But at least, hey, you know, some of these guys go into these situations thinking, so you're saying there's a chance.
But also, that's why we stress the importance of like difficult practice and difficult training, right?
Yeah, give yourself Make it difficult.
The reason we'll run our pipers through an obstacle course pre St. Patrick's Day is you're only going to do as good as the worst you do in practice.
Right. Exactly correct. Yeah.
And if the worst you do in practice is pretty good, then we can work with that. But the idea that you suddenly jump and rise to the occasion is bullshit. That never happens.
Never.
All you ever do is you sink to your lowest level of training, and if your lowest level of training is shit, then you're fucked. Then you get a McCain Piper scenario.
Exactly.
Because you try to figure it out on the day, which never works.
Right. Good luck to you.
No, it's unfortunate, but also it's an important lesson, and I bet that guy won't make that mistake again.
Oh, you hope he learned his lesson, but he should have learned that 10 years ago.
Like when you have to refund someone, when they pay the piper at a funeral and you have to refund them because you fucked it up so bad, that is rough.
That is rough, as Lucy likes to say.
Yep. Okay, so we have a couple more things to go through, including the pipe band fail of the week, the pipe band win of the week, and our topic of the adventures of Andy Fooko at the Dojo Tuning Clinic, which we are going to get to right after this break, where we thank some of our fan-fucking-tastic patrons. Yeah, we got lots of cool patrons. We got Aaron and Alistair, Barbara, Ben, Bethany, and Bill. Got Bobby, Bradley, Brian, Camille, Corley, Dacia, Dion, you, and Fiona, and Gareth, Hugh, too. Ian, Jamie, and Jason. JD, Ingrid, Jennifer, Joey, John, Kelly, and Kevin. Killian, and Mary, Mike, and Rachel, Ray, Robert, Sean, and Steve-O. Ted, Hales, and Big Rap Show. Got Tim, Vivian, and Wild Bill, Will, Ingrid, Nam. Zach, thank you all for being some motherfucking patrons. Patreons. Listen to Dick Jokes, Patreons. And we are back. Thank you again to all of our fantastic patrons for supporting the Chan Rant podcast. And Fusco, without delay, I think it's time we get to the pipe band fail of the week.
Fuck it, let's do it.
All right. So, do you want any setup for this one, or just let it speak for itself?
I don't really know much about this one.
It's some kind of a Christmas clip, I think. Christmas party clip.
Yeah, it's Christmas party. Somebody sent this into us. You'll hear it. But this is the thing. Like, don't post this shit on Facebook or YouTube, whatever. Everybody argues like, well, he's trying, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, that's great. Just don't fucking post it on Facebook or YouTube. Well,
and I don't think this person ended up posting this video. I think whoever did the event maybe. But it's also, there's a word of warning there. Other people are recording, so don't fuck up.
Yeah, or just don't accept the gig. Like McCain Pepper.
There you go. All right, let's hear it. It's not that bad so far. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Starting to lose it.
Here we go.
Okay. So there's some struggle bus happening, but I'd say overall not the worst that I've heard.
It's by far not the worst fail we've ever played, but there's some things going on here for sure. So, let me tell you a theory, and you definitely hear it when he goes from tune 1 to tune 2 in the clip that you played. So, Bruce Hitchings once a long time ago talked about the triangle of piping, right? And I'm going to get the words he uses wrong, but there's basically 3 sides to this coin, if you will.
So it's not a coin because it's got 3 sides.
No, it's not. But it's a triangle. It's a triangular coin.
It's a pyramid-shaped coin with 3 sides. Yet
exactly.
None of them could actually be landed on.
None whatsoever. But
because the pyramid has 4 sides. But okay, it's okay.
There's like your tonal quality, let's say. So your tone overall. There's your musicality, and there's your technique, right? Mm-hmm. So what would you say? I know what you're going to say, but what would you say this guy is not so bad at?
I would say tonality is not awful. The drones aren't in, but I think the chanter is actually pretty well balanced.
Really? Okay, yeah. I would 100% disagree with you. Because his technique is decent and his tone is shit.
Oh, see, like I think that the things that bother me with the technique are the lack of musicality and also like just the blatant mistakes.
I defined for you that musicality was separate than technique. It's very important to...
Wait, what are the 3 sides again? Give me the 3 sides one more time.
Tonal quality, so tone overall.
Okay.
Musicality.
Okay.
And technique.
I don't like any of those. I guess the strongest then would be technique.
That's what I would say, right? His Tarlos were reasonable. They were pretty clear. You could tell what he was playing. You knew what he was doing.
I think it's all kind of weak.
When we listened to this in the beginning, you were like, "Oh, his music is shit because he's just playing notes. He's not playing with any sense of rhythm or expression."
And I hear that a lot, and it's one of the things that drives me nuts. Not just in people that aren't doing performance as well, but one of my pet peeves is in practice and rehearsal, and even while you're tuning up. When people will take a tune that you're using to check the tone and just blow through it and not play it musically.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Drives me nuts, right? And I've stopped people before, and people get pissed off when I say, "Yeah, but play it like it's music."
Yes.
Like I understand that you're tuning your drones or that I'm checking your high hand or whatever, but when we're playing Green Hills, you should still play it like it's music because it is. And if you're just fucking half-assing it, all you're doing is training yourself to half-ass playing the tune.
Yeah, I tell people this all the time. Like, never, ever, 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 ever play it just to play it.
Never play it like nobody's listening.
Like nobody's listening. Because I'm listening. I'm
listening. And when you're half-assing it, even if it's an easier tune, like I'm more frustrated when you half-ass an easy tune.
Oh, absolutely. So when people play Green Hills or whatever.
So just play it well.
Yeah, when somebody tunes up to Green Hills and they just sort of finger fuck through it, just blast through it or whatever with no expression.
It's like, no, fuck you. Like
rhythm is everything, man.
Just play it like
what was that one thing? What was the one thing that you told me you learned from? Who the fuck was it? The whole thing about rhythm. Tell me what.
Are you talking about every instrument is a drum?
Yes.
Yeah. So the first time I heard it was in an interview with the band Eagles of Death Metal. If you're not familiar with them, I highly recommend you check them out. They're awesome. But actually, they took it from James Brown. James Brown was a person who said that play every instrument like it's a drum.
Yes.
Every instrument should be a drum. Rhythm and syncopation are key to making interesting music.
Absolutely, 100% of the time. And that does not... That absolutely 100% applies to bagpipes. Yeah. 100%.
No, rhythm and syncopation are incredibly important, especially when you get into more complex tunes. When you get into the Strass-based reels, jigs, it can sound round... But if it sounds round, it means you're probably doing it wrong. Probably.
Depending so in this guy's case, right? Isn't that what he's doing? He's playing with very little rhythm.
Well, he's finger fucking through it, like you said. It's just like there's no tempo set. There's no short note, long note. There's no A-lap, A-sap.
Exactly.
Which is also why I tell people to play to a fucking metronome.
Exactly, right? Absolutely.
Because you can't change the tempo at which you're playing based on which parts are easy for you and which parts are hard for you when you're playing to a fucking metronome. You just have to play to the metronome the whole time.
Which was well demonstrated by me last week when I completely slowed down and sped up during the easy and hard parts of that fucking tune that I played.
Yep.
But
that was your interpretation.
Key, right, that's key. So, in this guy's tone, like you started off saying, I agree, his tone wasn't terrible. But his high hand was insanely flat, especially once he started to get uncomfortable.
The chanter's not great. The chanter and drones aren't balanced well, but I expected it to be so much worse overall.
Correct.
And I will say this, as the clip goes on, and I can play a little bit more, as the clip goes on, you can tell this guy's riding the struggle bus really hard because he's physically moving a lot. So I guarantee it's an incredibly inefficient instrument.
Yep.
But let's hear
Which leads to our topic eventually. Go ahead.
Now that's when you get to the point where the brain and the hands just aren't working together anymore because there's not enough oxygen going to either.
I wonder if he had any oxygen going to begin with, but either way.
Because I do think people undervalue the physicality of the instrument.
Remarkably, they undervalue that. What is the number one question that you always get when somebody sees you in the street?
Is that hard?
Is that hard to play?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's insanely hard to play.
Yes, it is hard to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of physicality to it, and I think people underestimate that. It is hard. It's hard to be not in decent shape, at least cardiovascularly, and perform the bagpipe well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because you get to a point where you just get gassed if you have no endurance and you don't have good cardiovascular health. You don't have to be a fucking Adonis like Andrew Douglas is now. You don't have to be that, but you do have to have a certain baseline level of being able to breathe heavily for 45 minutes without dying.
Right, exactly.
You know what the best training is, I think, for bagpipes?
What's that?
Fucking.
Oh, absolutely. So that's probably why we do so much of it as pipers.
Realistically, it's good full body exercise, trains your endurance, and also trains you to be, I think there's a level of sensitivity that's involved. You gotta have finesse.
Oh yeah, there's a certain amount of finesse.
If you can't adjust pressure and rhythm, then you're not getting anywhere. You got to be able to ever so slightly adjust pressure and rhythm to hit the goal you're looking for.
To hit the O spot, the G spot.
and it's the same with bagpiping. You got to be able to adjust your pressure to hit the correct tone and the rhythm to make sure the music sounds good.
Exactly.
And adjust on the fly as needed. You got to be able to adapt and overcome.
Exactly. Much like the Marines.
Okay, so that was our pipe band fail of the week, and it wasn't one of the worst ones we've had, but I think it's worth noting some of the blatant issues that come up in these kinds of situations. Here's our pipe band win of the week, and this is from VTAT, right?
Yes, correct. Virginia Military.
So this is some dog shit band playing at VTAT. So let's hear them. They do have some handsome kilts, though. All right, that was boner worthy.
That's cool. That's cool. That was,
Ooh. Damn.
Ooh, that's sexy.
Okay.
So I got lots of things to say about this.
One of the things I just want to mention off the bat is in that fairly complicated cutoff, the pipe major just does not walk in time, doesn't tap anyone out to close it off. Everybody just already knows where the thing's ending.
Oh, they know it because they've done it 7,000 times.
He doesn't give them any real visual signal of stopping. He just casually walks in, not in time, and they all know when they're stopping anyway. So there's no point because the percussion is just holding it down.
Right. Absolutely. That was okay. So that was good. What's interesting is the arrangement. Good. The arrangement is interesting. It's a classic tune. Fuck, is it the hard drive or the long drive or the fucking short drive or the over the top drive? I don't know. It's one of the drives.
I think it's called the floppy disk.
The floppy disk, yeah. But whatever it is, I always get it confused with the new Fred Morrison tune that everybody loves. But they have a similar name. But anyway, it's fucking sexy, especially that rearrangement of that last part where they right, super interesting.
That nice long hold.
But the tightness of that is remarkable. So this is grade 3. Yep. And this is the band that came in last in grade 3. So can you imagine the other 3 fucking bands at this level?
This is a band that completely shit the bed and came in dead last. Went home covered in shame with their tail between their legs.
They absolutely should have, but but the tightness was remarkable for like a grade 3 band to play that arrangement of a tune is pretty remarkable. I think
that was phenomenal performance by all involved. I thought the pipes were amazing. I forgot how much I missed having solid, just tight drums.
Well, have we ever had that?
No.
I mean, we've had drums, but have we ever had solid tight?
Bally Breeze had a pretty decent drum corps.
Yeah, no, they were pretty good. Yeah, you're right. Okay, good. So it's remarkable when those two things come together and how interesting that can become.
Well, and how they feed off each other and how they both improve the quality of the other.
Yeah.
It really, once you get to that level of decent amount of drummers performing at a decent level and pipers doing the same, it becomes this like symbiotic relationship of, oh my God, the tighter you play, the tighter I'm going to play, the better we're going to sound. Now we can really get some real big dynamics in here.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, no, dude, that was a super cool arrangement. I really enjoyed the whole thing. We only played a clip of it, but you can feel free to. You'll see it in the notes this week.
That band, it's probably worth mentioning, is Waken District.
Absolutely.
And they did not cut Joe Brady.
Yeah, I think I saw him in the corner there.
despite all of our recommendations.
They probably should have. I mean, they might have done better.
They might have won. Might have won if he'd cut Joe Brady. But fantastic showing. I mean, that was just amazing. Okay, Fusco. So it's time for us to get to the closest thing we're going to have to a topic of the week, and it should be a fairly short one, which is you have been in New York for, 4 or 5 days now?
Yep. 4 days, yep.
And you went up for the Dojo Tuning clinic.
I did. This is their yearly clinic. This is year 3. My first year, but their year 3.
So my question is, as a person who can't tune for shit, why do they have you go?
One, because I give an amazing blowjob for Andrew Douglas.
Fair.
And his wife does not complain because she doesn't have to do it.
Yeah, she doesn't have to take that stank dick.
As you well know, I have an amazing year. And also part 2 of that is I'm cheap and easy. So...
He doesn't have to put you up in a hotel room when you go to New York.
Oh, no. Well, usually no, but he did this weekend, which was great because I did not want to have to drive 40 minutes each way every morning to get there at 8 o'clock in the morning.
So tell our listeners a little bit about the concept behind the tuning clinic, because I think we're all familiar with piping schools.
Sure.
Schools and courses and things like that. What is the difference between something like a piping school and the Dojo Tuning clinic?
Okay, so what's interestingly different is the 100% of the 3 days that we're there is focused on helping people to learn to tune better, and not just developing an ear, because it's so much not about an ear everybody thinks it is, but it's not. It's about following a very simple process that we all underestimate and think too much about, because we, as adults, usually adults, we overcomplicate the situation and struggle with tuning because we can't answer a simple question.
And what is a simple question?
Is it better or worse, Josh? Is it better or worse?
Up or down?
That's all you got to know. It's really that fucking simple. Andrew might be mad at me for telling everybody in the world, or at least to the 6 people that listen to the show.
But if you want the full experience of how to tune and the Andrew Douglas method, you can always get 5% off your Dojo U membership by going to dojouniversity.com/analingus.
Analingus, absolutely. That's the new hashtag. So it was actually a very good weekend. We had, 30-something students that came, which was double from last year, which is amazing. A lot, anywhere from Canada. The furthest person I noticed on the list was from Arizona, believe it or not. They came all the way to Albany.
But
a lot of people from Canada.
Know?
What's that?
Somebody we know from AZ?
No, nobody we knew. But
some random?
Yeah. But a lot of people from Canada and the Northeast for the most part, some from the South, some from the Midwest. But it was an excellent clinic. And essentially what we did for 3 days was work with them on, once we got past Andrew blathering theoretically for hours on end.
Yeah. It's a hard thing to get past.
Yeah, we break off into groups and just work on literally the tuning process of tuning your drones, and then eventually get to the channers, obviously. But most of it focused on the prerequisites to tuning. Mm-hmm. So there's 2 steps basically that you need to have before you can tune well, and we focused a lot on prerequisites.
What are the prerequisites aside from having an airtight bag and also having drones calibrated?
Oh, well, funny you should say that, Josh. That's exactly what they are.
Oh, is that the only prerequisites? Oh, strangely enough.
By the way, it's really difficult to tune if your bag is inefficient in any way, or if your whole setup is inefficient in any way, shape,
if your setup is shit, you can't tune because you can't play a clean note evenly for an extended period of time.
And if you can't produce tonal quality, i.e. blowing steady or blowing to the sweet spot, it's almost impossible to tune, which I realized this as a teacher. It's been a while because our people locally are reasonably good, solid blowers.
I would say over the past year, we've developed, actually largely you and Jack have developed the strongest tonal quality this band's seen in my recollection. And I've known this band for, 10, 15 years.
Absolutely.
And don't get me wrong, we don't get a lot of stuff right, but our tonal quality is fucking on point.
Which is important. And what happened in our competition, and I knew this years ago, we just never focused on it until 5 years ago or something like that, maybe 7, whatever it is. But tone is everything when it comes to competition.
And I think that's what makes the difference, really.
Tone forgives all sins.
With the compliments that we got, even playing for Sheets in Vegas, I think that a lot of that was tonal quality. It just was a good sound. It was a good, strong sound. Even with pipes and one snare drum and
and maybe a bass on half the day.
Yeah, maybe a bass on half the day. Speaking of which, do I get to just play bass in the next contest if we're playing for Sheets? Like
it might work out, but except I need you on that corner.
Like I rock the shit out of some bass drum.
You kind of do. Right.
I'm sorry. Should we pull the Sheets from SoCal?
From 2015 or 2016, whatever it was.
Pull the Sheets from last time I played bass drum in a contest, and all we got was like comments about how amazing the bass drum was.
Oh my god. They weren't bad, except you were making it up as you went. Like, you knew the music, so that helps.
I knew the pipe score. I didn't know the drum score, so I was making it up. I think we had 2 run-throughs before we were in contest.
Right.
But, the trick is you just got to play it from your balls, man. You gotta,
exactly.
Like I made love to that bass score.
Brilliant. That you did. I agree. So, what else? Piping clinic. So, you want to hear some funny stories about the piping clinic?
Absolutely. How is the ongoing sitcom saga that is your bromance with Keegan?
Oh, so Keegan was there. Absolutely.
I mean, for some stories.
So I ran into him. He didn't come until Friday. He got there late Friday night, and he brought his very attractive woman. Very attractive. Holy moly. Legendary McGonagall daughter. But so I ran into him in the bar. Like we had been there all day already, and I saw him across the way. So I ran up to him, slow motion. I did it slow motion on purpose.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
and then I jumped into his arms, and then we jumped up and down like I don't know, like a couple of and hugged each other.
That's fantastic.
And it was great. So that was when I first saw him, and I did not share a room with him because he did not trust me in the same room with his lovely girlfriend, which I understand.
Smart man. Yep, I got to agree with him.
So guess what happened?
Uh-oh.
I got to share a room with somebody who I'd never met before. The legendary Eric Olette, who is also the Inverary pipe band member.
Shit.
Plays with Inverary, used to play with Orrin Moore, Andrew Douglas back in the day, etc., etc. This guy's a fucking legend, let me tell you.
Oh boy.
Holy moly. He's such a legend.
You boys getting into some shenanigans, huh?
Oh boy, did we ever. Andrew was like, I think you guys are going to like each other. Oh yeah. We're both insane. He's so insane. He didn't show up to class on Sunday. He was so hungover and so drunk. Like, I was his roommate. He did not. I couldn't get him out of bed. I tried to wake him up twice on Sunday morning to get him out of bed.
He wasn't having it.
Nope. He's like, I'll be there later. Don't worry, I'll be there. I'm like, all right, it's up to you now. I tried twice. I'm out.
And he was one of the like a student participant.
No, he was a teacher. He was one of the teachers.
Fuck me.
Exactly. It was hysterical.
You know you're in bad shape when Andy Fusco is getting up out of bed to show up to class to teach before you do.
Absolutely, dude. I showed up like a champion every day. I was hungover as shit, especially Sunday. We were out till 3 a.m. God knows.
Jesus Christ.
Walking around Troy, New York.
You're too old for this shit.
Absolutely. And these two guys, Keegan and Eric, were out. I'm like, guys, I got to go. I want to show up tomorrow. I need to get paid for this, so I'm going to show up tomorrow. But Keegan made it. He got up.
Doogie won't give me my return flight tickets until I teach on Sunday.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't want to get stuck in Troy, fucking New York.
Hell no, dude. I went to college there. That's enough for me. But oh my god, that guy is a fucking legend. So Saturday night, right? I left early from the bar. Him and a bunch of the fun crew were out pretty late, right? So I went home. It was probably 2:30 or something like that, whatever it was. And I'm in bed sleeping. He comes in like a bull in a china shop, fucking bashes through the door, fucking turns the lights on. He's like, "Hey!" Wakes me up on purpose. He's like, I jump out of fucking bed. I'm like, "What? What happened? Where am I?" He's like, "Nothing. Go back to bed." You son of a bitch.
Just to fuck with you.
Oh, just to fuck with me. He was fucking. So I wake up the next day, shit everywhere, all over. He doesn't care. His like pants are like near the bathroom. His like shirt is near the bed.
Y'all are like checking out this day, right?
Oh yeah. We had to get it. Yeah, I had to check out because I had to be in class by 8:00.
This is such a pack my shit. It's like such a girl thing to do. To like when it's like, oh, by the way, we have 5 minutes, so we have to check out, and your shit's everywhere.
Everywhere, absolutely. This is exactly what he did. It's so funny. Oh my god. So yeah, he was a champion. It was quite fun to hang out with those guys. The Inverary guys. There's 3 of them that play with Inverary, and Carl, of course. And it was a great time. Excellent clinic, I think, overall. A lot of shenanigans were had, a lot of drinks were consumed. We crawled home. And
I like how this has become like the party weekends or all these Piper's Dojo events.
I know, right? Although it's not just Piper's Dojo. Andrew made a comment at one point. He's like, well, he was in very good spirits. Even although Eric didn't show up, he was pretty nice about it. He was like, well, it wouldn't be a bagpipe weekend if one of the instructors didn't fucking show.
Yeah. Well, if one of the instructors wasn't too hungover to show up.
Oh, I mean, it happened at Vegas games, right? Last year, remember? So, I mean, it happens. It's just one of those things. These guys like to party, you know?
Speaking of partying, our next event is San Diego, right?
That's the plan. End of June, yeah.
End of June. So we're gonna do like a big Chanarant Airbnb party house? Like what's the plan?
That's what I would like to do.
I think that makes sense, right? Like who are our West Coast Chanaranters that we got down in San Diego?
You want me to name names?
No. I'm just saying, if you're out there, West Coast Chanaranters, we're coming to the San Diego games, and we want to get all about the sesh.
Oh, yeah. So if you guys want to room up with us, we'll just get a big house. Just let us know you're in for sure. Yeah. We got Big Tim coming down from Seattle. We got you and me, of course. And then I'm sure Jeremy
should we try a little bar crawl again and just pick a bar and like say, hey, this is where we're going to go? And then nobody will show up, including us.
Yeah. It'll be me and you, which is pretty much how it usually goes. Yeah. No, that sounds fair to me. But if you're San Diego 8 and you're going to that games, we'd love to do a meetup, and I don't know.
Yeah, just let us know. Shoot us an email, chanarant@gmail.com.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Fusco. Well, I gotta say, this has been a lovely, if not strange, Monday night episode of the Chanarant podcast. I'm glad that you managed to find time for us to, do this little Skype chat. I can't wait for you to come back, and by that I mean stay as long as you want, because things are going swimmingly without you.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
And any final thoughts for this week?
My final thoughts is, shouldn't we finish with one important thing? The May raffle.
Yes, I think now is the time that we let everyone know which lucky patron is winning free Chanarant merch in our May raffle. So, Fusco,
all you got to do is pick a number from 1 to 5, and I've got
picking a number between 1 and 5. And
since we're not streaming, it's all on you, buddy.
I'm going to say that this time for May, the number is 1.
Ooh, 1. Okay, 1 is Mr. Jason Blake.
Jason Blake, congratulations. You have won the raffle for May. And just let us know, chanaran@gmail.com, what shirt that you are interested in, your size, and your mailing address. And we will get that in the mail sometime before Christmas.
Yeah, it'll happen eventually. Just trust us.
Eventually, yeah. Rab got his eventually.
Yeah, it took a while, but that's okay.
It only took 60-something episodes for us to finally send Rab a shirt. Didn't we say we were going to do that in like episode 2?
I think so, yeah. But he waited, and what did he get? He got the best shirt of all, the Rabby the Pooh.
Rabby the Pooh.
We didn't have that in episode 2.
That's true.
See,
good things come to those who wait.
Exactly. So, other than that, I have no final thoughts. We have a winner, and we're going to move on and get on with our lives. So, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, I'm incredibly excited. Thank you for everyone tuning into this episode of the Chanaran Podcast. Fusco, I'll be glad to see you back in Vegas for next week's episode. We are in the process of planning the 10 things that associations could do that would be awesome, working title. And hopefully we're going to get some association representatives on for that one. In the meantime, please let us know, marry, fuck, kill. Josh, Fusco, Big Rab. Send it to us.
I can't wait for the results.
Send it to us, chanaran@gmail.com. And we love you all. Thank you to everyone who's supporting us while we're replacing equipment and getting Studio 2.0 set up. Fusco, you know what, motherfucker? I say play us out.